at the end of the day, if you look at it through the eyes of the controller, the law enforcement, you realize that, yes, through those eyes, the internet is too free. As far as how it was intended. Not to say that that's how it is now. But the idea is still there. And for the most part, most people believe in it. Most people believe in it because they don't know what's going on right now. What efforts are being taken to eliminate those rights and those freedoms. So if you look at it through the eyes of the controller, then yes, the internet is too free, and that's detrimental to their cause, obviously. If the internet has ultimate freedom, and you have the controllers who seek to control, that's what they do, that's why they're called controllers, if they seek to control, then obviously the internet is a big hindrance to that objective. So obviously they would want to then control it, regulate it. So that's why I say, if you use the internet anyway, I'm pretty sure probably every person in the world has been online espousing one thing or another, saying one thing or another. Maybe it was inappropriate or whatever the case may be, but they were thinking about this subject and expressing it on the internet, and thought to themselves, wow, man, I have way too much freedom here. I can pretty much say whatever the hell I want to whoever I want, barring a few things, obvious things here and there, and pretty much get away with it. So knowing that, and also especially if you're an activist, whatever kind of activist, doesn't really matter. You also know the freedom that you have, and the strength that you have to have the internet as a platform to express your ideas. And so therefore, because you know the hugeness of the ability to be able to do that right now, you have to be aware that that the powers that be are going to seek to exploit that freedom and then eventually rescind it. That's what the net neutrality objective is really truly all about. That's what that's about. Obviously, and I don't know, I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but you know that it has nothing to do with anything that would benefit us, the average individual. It's meant to benefit the corporations first and foremost, and then it's also meant to give the powers that be more leverage to do the things that they've been doing and seek to continue to do and increase. But there might be a few out there who haven't yet, because it's old. It's probably about a month or two, give or take. But I had seen it once before, and I meant to share with you guys, but I forgot, life and all that stuff. So but I came across it again. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Let me go ahead and play this for those who haven't heard it that are listening now. So this happened here in the United States. If you're listening out of the country, which, by the way, just kind of a side note, I would again like to thank all of our new listeners for joining us, and welcome to the show. Thank you to all of our loyal listeners for spreading the word. It's really awesome, and the show is getting huge, bigger and bigger by the week. We're creeping up on almost 700 new followers now. We're averaging about 100 followers per week, so that's pretty awesome. So once again, thank you guys for spreading the word, and welcome, and thank you to all of our new followers as well. And we're talking from countries as far away as Australia, New Zealand, Switzerland, Brazil, Germany, Hong Kong, Mexico, and I think there's a couple more there I may be forgetting. Oh, Canada. So pretty much almost every country. So I thank you guys and welcome. And I wish I knew how to say welcome and thank you in your individual languages, but I don't. I do apologize, but I'll work on that. But thank you and welcome once again to the show. I really appreciate it. So back to the YouTube video here. You can find it online if you want to see it for yourself. It's about 5 minutes long. A citizen pulls cop over, gives warning. That citizen pulls cop over, gives warning. It's pretty cool and funny, and it's real, which is an added bonus. So here you go.
Just flagged this officer over. I want to make sure his unmarked car is legal. Afternoon, sir. Good. Hey, the reason I stopped you today is because I saw this car was unmarked. Is this a registered unmarked vehicle for undercover work, or? Okay, you're not allowed to have patrol cars that are unmarked. Are you aware of that under Washington State RCW?
I'd have to look it up. But...
Yeah, you really should do that. So there's no marking, there's no indication on this car. Okay, what's your name? Canfield?
Deputy Canfield.
Okay, Deputy Canfield. Can I see some ID?
Can you see some ID of me?
Yeah, I need to make sure that you need to prove you're driving an unmarked vehicle, so I need to make sure you're actually a police officer and that you have the authority to be driving this vehicle, because you seem to be kind of doing something that's clearly in violation of Washington state law. So I just want to make sure you are who you say you are, okay?
Okay. Well, okay. I'm not going to play the game with you.
This isn't a game. It's called law.
Okay.
Yeah. So can I see some ID and maybe license, registration, proof of insurance, sir?
No, I'm not going to show you that. Yeah, this is my ID right here.
That's not ID, sir.
Yeah, well,
if I showed you a badge, if you stopped me, would you take that as ID? Come on. Let's be reasonable. Anybody can have a patch, sir.
Okay, what about...
Is it a big deal for you to show me some ID just so I can make sure?
I can show it to you.
That'd be cool. That's all I want. I just like to make sure. Canfield GT51. Can I see?
Yeah, you can see it. You're not going to hold it in your hand, though.
Okay, let me just get a close look at it there.
Does that match this?
That looks legit to me. I appreciate it. I do. I really do.
Driver's license?
You got a driver's license too. I appreciate it. I appreciate the cooperation. Are you stopping people in this vehicle?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, it's completely in violation of Washington state law, and you are culpable in that, the way the law is written.
Okay,
so you've admitted that you are in violation of Washington state law and that you are stopping people in this vehicle. So what I'm going to encourage you to do, I'm not going to write you up today. What I am going to encourage you to do is take this car back. I know you're smiling, but we the citizens do have a right to hold you guys accountable. If I'm in open violation of the law, I mean, I could call a sheriff out here and demand that you be written up for this, because you are in open violation of Washington State RCWs. Okay? So I just want you to talk to the sheriff about it. There's a problem with this in Soap Lake as well, and this is why I'm bringing this up lately. I really want you guys to be aware of this. I want you to follow along. Do you understand the safety concern? I mean, let's say it's 12 o'clock at night, my daughter's out driving around, and she doesn't drive yet, but you get the idea. And she gets stopped by what is supposedly a police officer, but there's no markings whatsoever, and that's one of the main reasons you should not be stopping people in a car that's unmarked, because that's when the safety concern really comes in. Somebody doesn't know if they're being stopped by a police officer. So understand that every time you stop somebody in this car, you are in violation of Washington state law, and you can't do that. So if we see you stopped in this car and have doing patrol stops in this car, we're going to have a problem because it's illegal. If you continue doing this, you could be arrested for that.
I could be arrested for driving an unmarked car?
Of the law, and you're accountable to the law just the same as me and anybody else is,
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's publicly owned, any publicly owned vehicle, including county police, and it opens up with directing at the officer specifically. So, and that's the key for you. So you want to read this, because even if they give you an unmarked vehicle, you're legally obligated to not operate that unmarked vehicle, because the law is defined at the officer and says you, as the officer, shall not operate the vehicle on the public roadways, a publicly owned vehicle that's law and liberty, and to follow the rules that we the people placed upon them.
So yeah, a couple things there that that I was thinking about while I was watching that, which was first, the officer. I give huge kudos to him because all in all, he was pretty cool with what was going down. I personally have come across many officers in the past that would have been complete jerks, and that could have quickly escalated into violence or something along those lines. So I think the officer showed great restraint, as well he should have. I just want to be clear and know. Temper issues, and that could have definitely been a situation. Let's see. Okay, well, apparently someone was trying to message here on the instant messenger, but it didn't go through, so I do apologize for that, whoever that was. I appeared to be having some kind of issue with my computer here, so I do apologize. But definitely keep trying to send your messages through, and hopefully they'll come through. But anyway, so I thought the officer showed great restraint. I can't help but wonder if, and I'm sure a lot of you were with me on this, I can't help but wonder whether or not that would have gone down the same if that was a black guy that was questioning the officer like that and stopped him. I shudder to think how that encounter would have gone down, unfortunately. But I'm sure you can probably agree. But all in all, it was a great video. I think that more people should get out and do things like that. I think I myself should get out and do things like that as well, and perhaps I will. Not for anything, but to encourage people to realize that we have more power than we think. If for nothing else, we definitely should be holding our law enforcement accountable. We should also be reminding them constantly of their oaths to the Constitution, and just remind and positively reinforce. Remind them that their job is to protect us, and it's not to just follow orders every time, especially if those orders are unjust. It's not gonna. I don't think that's a cure-all. I don't think it's gonna help everything, but I definitely think it will help, because unfortunately you do have some officers that are just trigger happy and just sociopathic lunatics, and they want to hurt someone. So those guys, obviously, you're not going to get through to with the Constitution. That's a totally separate issue that has to be tackled in a different way that we won't try to get into now, but it's something that I'll definitely think about, because it's something that should be addressed for sure. But right now, I think the first step would be to just remind our law enforcement and so on that their job is to protect and serve first and foremost, and to protect our constitutional rights, and to be aware of those constitutional rights, and also be aware that we are aware as well. But the first thing that has to happen is that we do have to become aware. The guy that did that video, he's aware. So he's already there. He's not someone that would listen to this show or another show and be inspired by it. He's already inspired and he's doing something. So I wouldn't count. Basically, I'd be preaching to the choir. I wouldn't count someone who's already aware and awake, because more than likely they're already out there doing something. So I would encourage those that perhaps listen to this show, or others that aren't aware of what's going on, and also aren't aware of the laws as far as the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and what they say, because until you know that, you can't demand justice. You can't demand justice if you don't know